Hey, are you here to learn how to use your new stencil too? Great, you're just in time. Why don't you join me and I will show you how fun and easy it is. I will also share some helpful tips to achieve the best results while painting with your new stencil. If you haven't quite found what you're looking for, check out this and many other beautiful designs at StencilsLAB.com. In this video, I will show you what tools you need, how to place your stencil on the wall, paint your stencil, calibrate your stencil, and in the end, I will show you the final result. Now, let's begin. First, let's decide what color looks best in your space. We recommend using color swatches you can get for free from your local hardware store. Take them and see how they will look in the location you will be painting. Sometimes the color you see in the store may not look the same in your space. For this project, I will be using water-based one-coat latex paint. I found this paint to be the best for stenciling. Now let's talk about tools. Many tools and methods have been tested. And luckily for us, StencilsLAB was kind enough to create a kit designed specifically for stencil art. These tools have proven to be a simple, effective way to successfully achieve beautiful results. For this project, I recommend using the basic kit, which you can find a link to in the description below. In the kit, you will find low-tack repositional spray adhesive, which is a temporary adhesive that will adhere your stencils to the wall. This is a light adhesive spray that will allow you to move your stencil easily throughout your project. I will also apply masking tape to the corners of the stencil to secure my stencil on the wall. This kit also comes with a foam roller, a touch-up brush, and a paint tray. The foam roller is by far the best tool to get crisp results and prevent bleeding. If you do see a few imperfections, you can use the touch-up brush to fix your masterpiece. The kit also includes a stenciling brush. However, we will save that for our next project. Once you receive your stencil, open the tube by removing the lid. Pull the stencil from the tube and lay it on a flat surface. If you lay the stencil on a flat surface and the edges are curled, there are a few things you can do. You can lay a few books on the edges to flatten the stencil, or roll the stencil in the opposite direction and place it back in the tube. Pro tip: the craft paper the stencil is wrapped in can be used under your paint tray to prevent unwanted spills, or under your stencil to keep it clean throughout your project. The design I will be painting is a 54-inch mandala. You will notice at the top corner an engraving that says "Face Up." This is the side of the stencil you will be painting. We will start the process by positioning our stencil on the wall. First, find where you want the center of your mandala stencil to be and mark it with a pencil. Next, grab your stencil and place it to the left of your center point. Now, adjust the height of your stencil on the wall. Once you find the perfect position, use masking tape to secure it to the wall. Step back to see if you like it. Adjust the height until you find the perfect spot. Remember, you are only looking at half of the mandala, so take your time. You got this. Once you've found the perfect height, mark the top of your stencil on the wall, then set your stencil back down. Use your level to draw a line. You will use this line as a reference point to place your stencil on the wall later. Flip the stencil face down and apply repositional spray adhesive to the back of your stencil. When you spray the adhesive, be sure to cover your floor to prevent overspray or spray your stencil outdoors. Once you've applied adhesive spray, take the top of your stencil and use your fingers to prevent the bottom of the stencil from touching the wall. Use the center point and line to place the stencil on the wall. Be sure to stretch the stencil across the top to ensure the stencil lays flat against the wall. Use your hand to flatten the rest of the stencil from top to bottom. Begin in the center and move outward as you move down the stencil. Use the clean, dry roller to lightly smooth the stencil from top to bottom to prevent the paint from bleeding. Attach masking tape to help further secure the stencil to the wall. The paint I will use for this project is Trellis Fine, a one-coat water-based latex paint by Behr. Pour a small amount of your paint in the paint tray and lightly load your foam roller evenly with paint. Stenciling is a dry technique, so remember, always unload excess paint from your roller onto a paper towel before painting your stencil. Too much paint on the roller can cause paint to bleed underneath your stencil. It's the moment we've all been waiting for. It's time to stencil that wall. Take your foam roller and paint your stencil with light pressure. In order to cover the stencil properly without bleeding, it would be best to reload your roller with paint. Remember to unload excess paint before applying paint to your stencil. It's far better to stencil a few layers gradually than to use one thick paint application. Once you have completely covered your stencil, remove your stencil from the wall by taking the top corners and pulling downward. If you see any imperfections, don't worry. You can always grab your touch-up brush to fix it. Before you calibrate your stencil, I recommend reapplying spray adhesive to the back. Remember to flip your stencil face down before spraying adhesive to the back of your stencil. The mandala stencils have alignment points along the center of the stencil. In order to align your stencil properly, rotate your stencil from top to bottom. Next, align half of your stencil to the previously painted portion to complete the full circle of your mandala stencil. Take your foam roller and paint your stencil with light pressure. Now that we have finished painting the mandala stencil, it's time to carefully remove the stencil from the wall. And voila! We have created a beautiful mandala wall stencil. I love how it turned out and how quick and easy it was to create such a lovely piece of art. I hope this simple, cost-effective project was as enjoyable for you as it was for me. If you have any questions or would like to share your project, we would love to hear from you. You can also check out this design and many others at www.StencilsLAB.com or follow StencilsLAB online. You can find project inspiration, client projects and tutorials, as well as a support group. Check them out on TikTok, Pinterest, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. If you really love this project, leave a quick review and tag us on your favorite platform. Thank you for watching this video. See you next time.